morning and welcome to our session today, brewing coffee using an REROPress. I hope you are doing good this day, and I hope we are going to have a wonderful time with you as we brew coffee using an REROPress. My name is Esther, and I'd like to welcome you to Barista Pro. Now, as always, we will start with introducing you to the equipment itself. So we are still doing filter coffee, pour over method of brewing, and today's equipment is going to be an REROPress. So let me start by introducing you to the equipment. So the REROPress has many pieces. It comes as a set, and the first piece is the stirrer. Now the stirrer is what we use to stir the coffee. Yeah. So we have a stirrer. Then we have a scoop. Yeah. To measure your coffee. Remember, we said that you have to have a recipe when you're brewing your coffee. Yeah. You have to know how much coffee am I using and how much water am I using, so that the taste of your coffee remains consistent. So always work with recipes, always advisable. So there's a scoop for those who don't have a weighing scale. So if you don't have a weighing scale, you can use a scoop. So it comes with a scoop. Then we also have a funnel. So a funnel is used for when you're pouring the ground coffee into the REROPress. First of all, you place the funnel and then you pour the coffee into the REROPress. So that's what the funnel is for. Because if you pour without the funnel, if you pour coffee without the funnel, sometimes it can be messy. It can be messy and the coffee will pour all over the place. So place your funnel first and then put in your coffee so that it just goes directly into the brew chamber. So that's the funnel. Then we have the plunger. The plunger. Now the plunger, we are using it to plunge. Yeah. So we are going to press and plunge. So this part is the plunger. Then we have the brew chamber. So this is the brewing chamber. So this is where the brewing actually takes place. So it's the one with a wide base like that. So this is the brew chamber where the brewing takes place. Then we have a filter cup. Filter cup. Now this filter cup, this is where we place our filter paper, and of course the final part is the filter papers. So you need the filter papers for the REROPress because it's using a filter paper. And these ones are paper filters, but for REROPress, you don't have to use paper filters. You can actually use metallic filters where you just, once you're done with them, you just wash them and you can reuse them. So you can use either paper filters or, or metallic filters. So this is where the filter cup, this is where the filter is going to go. Now that you know the parts of the REROPress, we are going to go to other things that we need. Yeah? Of course, a scale to measure, but I said if you don't have a scale, you can use any measuring tool that you have. Then we have a grinder. We have a grinder to grind your coffee beans. If you don't have a grinder, then it's okay. You can buy coffee that is already ground, but just make sure that it is fresh. So in our case, we always prefer to grind our coffee fresh. Okay? Then you need the pour over kettle for pouring the hot water over the grinds. And I already talked last time on Tuesday when we were brewing using a Chemex, I already talked about why it's important for you to have a long neck so that you can control the rate at which you're pouring. Also, the thinner the neck, the better you can control the pour. Because the pour should not be going too fast. If the pouring is too fast, you're going to end up with a very mild or weak watery coffee. If the pouring again is too slow, then you're going to end up with a very strong coffee. So you need the kettle, the pour over kettle, and you need your hot water. Okay. So as always, we are going to start with the recipe. So we are starting to brew, and there are two, what's this? Before I go to the two methods of brewing, there is an advantage of having an AeroPress. Most people love it because it's made out of plastic. This is plastic. Yeah, it's made out of plastic, so it cannot break. Yeah, so people like using it to travel. If you're a coffee snob, if you're a coffee snob and you just have to make your own coffee, this equipment, you can actually even put it in your bag. You can travel with it. So most people love the AeroPress because it's easy to travel with, and you can make your own coffee anywhere. So long as you've carried your coffee, yeah, and you just go and ask for hot water. You just ask for hot water. People have used it in a plane. People have used it in when they go for camping, you know, just to brew your own coffee. So it's very portable, easy to carry in your bag, and you can just brew your own coffee anywhere. So guys like traveling with it or going around with it because of its portability, and they also carry their coffee. The coffee snobs, coffee snobs also carry their own coffee. They just go somewhere and they start assembling this thing, and people are wondering, hey, what is she doing? Yeah, and you just ask for hot water. So that's why you know, people who love, that's one of the reasons the people who love brewing coffee using an AeroPress love the AeroPress. So there are two methods of brewing with an AeroPress. There are two methods. The first one is the traditional method. So we are going to start with that one. So there's traditional method, and then there's the inverted method. So we are going to start with the traditional method of using an AeroPress. Okay. So the first thing we always do is start. Let me just get this out of the way. We always start by measuring our coffee. And today's recipe, I'm going to be using 15 grams of coffee to 200 ml or 200 grams of water. Now there's a reason why it's specifically 200 grams of water or ml of water, because the size of the AeroPress, the capacity of the AeroPress is 200 ml of water. So you cannot go past 200 ml. Yeah? So that's why my recipe has to restrict the water quantity to be 200 ml. Okay. So I'm going to be using 15 grams of coffee. And I'm going to be using a medium grind. A medium grind. I'm going to show you how it looks like in a minute. 15. That's 15 grams. So I want to show you how the grind size looks like, for those who are interested to see the particle size. So this is the grind size. So it's a bit small, and that's why I'm using 15 grams of coffee. So that's how the 15 gram looks like. And now I want to show you how we start assembling the equipment. So we are going to start with the filter paper and the filter cap. So you place your filter paper on the filter cap and make sure that it's placed properly, because if it's not placed properly, then the grinds will pass through. So just make sure that it's placed properly. Then your chamber for brewing, make sure at the bottom, make sure that you fix it down there so that it looks something like that. Okay? Then you're going to take your mug, your cup or your mug for brewing, and please make sure that the filter cap can go inside your cup or your mug. It must be able to go inside like this. Yeah. Otherwise, if you have a cup that the filter cap cannot fit, like you see now, this is a problem. This is a problem because the filter cap is not able to fit. It's not able to fit. So make sure that you have a mug or a cup that is able to fit. That's one thing. Now, it doesn't mean that in your house or in the coffee shop, if your what's this? The mugs, yeah, the rim of the cups or the mugs are not able to fit. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you go out and start buying more cups. You can actually use, some people have found a clever way of using the funnel. Yeah, they just place it in there and then they can be able to use it to press. Okay, so you can actually find ingenious ways of using the funnel. If you find that the rim of your cups, the filter cap cannot fit, you can just place the funnel in there, yeah, and then you place your brew chamber, and then now you press down. Now, just because you can use your funnel, please note that when you use your funnel, this part goes deep inside the cup. So you need to be aware of that. So maybe you need a taller glass so that when you're pressing your coffee, then this part does not dip inside the drink. Okay. So this is my brew chamber, my cup for brewing. I've already placed the filter paper. As always, I'm sure this is something by now you know, yeah? We always have to rinse the filter paper to get rid of the paper test, and also preheat the equipment. So just put enough to preheat the equipment, to preheat the cup. I'm also preheating the cup, and I'm rinsing out the filter paper. So we usually rinse the filter paper to get rid of the paper taste.